Antuna and again watem. You can please read Luke 4:18 to 19. Ariya katarong sungani ko antun yagen sumode gateli ra chakani bulsiko agan prakchina yaan muksungani de ongyatem gateli ra chakani bulsiko agan prakchina ang huwa tataha yako muksungani ra yan maike ongyatem yako yagen sumangode yano antun Luke ni siya ko nan yagen sumangode yan Jesus Kristo ni Poraigaman bak ongtaya ari yako Jesus Kristo ra banoni ko ra agada chungwan Isaiah ore sotoksa potsa ro kuniyo ha ari yako niat ken chumuna Isaiah banoni ko aro siani ko takang ska chum anchang aru nyang ko nakta again one Leviticus odai Levi rang na siegaba odai kolrpwa pot kolrpwa gumukon yang ken chumwa ode warang pangchake siani ko anchang kang ska nakta mankugen Yano Levi rangna sianiyo ni gen chungangade wan sabat ba ning takani ba ning takani jamano arian sabat ni jamano arwan apsan nake chanangani ko ni gen chungangade wan jubilee yani guman ba janapani ko anchung Leviticus odai korokpunga gemek ko porayen chungare anchung nammeke porenakta masyang nakta mangen anchung gemek ko porene no songbe dongja aganang tabe no songbe dongja ni guman anga kandekesan aganakta nang nikinga da ya pakatarongon pangchaken isayaba uni sianyo sotoksa arpotsa potkinyo janapani ko anchung ankangen isaya katchini kapa ya katarongo kristona maireke ongskagen쯤 이하고 야 가타롱원 잔압수아니고 늑낙다 만겐 우니 시안이랑오 이사야 오다이소 똑사 potsa 아르그니 후바니야 스카낙다 만겐 the same thing that we can read from Luke 4:18 to 19. This is the words which Isaiah has already prophesied in Isaiah 61:1 and 2. And then the same thing that again we can connect it to Leviticus 25. The whole chapter, if you read that, you can go through and you can better understand when you study the whole chapter of Leviticus 25. Yahun yakin semua wade yan Mose na isolni giatkemen niamrang ongacem. 야고 이손이 묘세나 아간 그만 소모요 레비랑 kon ngegen chmungangode ya iwa somoyo Israel ngara kanana songonar yang mutung somoyang ngecem hada wa mang kanana songo soknakda jasa bajagani rang ni somoyong ngecem wa somoy ko soknaskang ye isolara mosena nyamrang ko onaha ari ya nyamrang oni ya mungsa ongacem wa mangje kare kanana songona sokangahon promised land on sokangahon mai rakke ning takani salang ko mani nakta nangacem aro jaat nakta nangacem wako yano janapan ko ancheng gangs kanakta mangen non yano lebirang nasian yo korupung awon mungsong bate ning takani bulsi ya ko giskra chinakta wong na agana ning takani bulsi ba sabat ya ko agana ni ko ancheng kanakta mangen wan bulsi do 기아가만이 고 딱가니 자마노 스니그바 불시오데 ning 탁치나 게트먼 냠 옹아참 기아가만이라고 딱가니요 아 송나 ning 탁가니고 온보 바 송 이소니 옹아 아 송 지호바닌 넴나 우야노 아가나니고 느겐 독가바 불시오나 가멘바 스니그바 불시코데 ning 탁낙다 온보 야고 자나파 아리고 니겐 총와데 아루 ning 탁가니 소모요 제 벳스랑니 giagamanirang charkanirang ganang warang ko ba chmungnabe niba warang ana gabanang na ungchina yandak ban yam ko unani ko neken aro sabat ko agana ni zamano belsis ni aro changs ni changs ni so prisku ona donat den ba wa belsioni de yan jublini belsi wangska ha nemna yano agani acham yan belsi sni chang sni uwako rakyani zamano abagam gabarang yako nambate binakta mangen beben belsi sni yan chang sni ba unakta nangen no so priskuk ba belsi ungahode so pungaw na ribanang taskang may nakta nangena sni ba so prisk so pungak pa ni sni ba jani skung pa salo yan jobel ko jarnagta nanga baka srokani belsi yako gisikranagta yano aganha da yako gisikranagta aganingon wan gisikra mangmay ni de ongja gambe ka srokani ko agan bo parak bo nesa agana sneak pa jani skeng pa salo gambe e senggarang ko skat bo talo prungwa sengarang ko nekang nakta manha maineke yako yani siani kita sengjar kang nakta jotun ka acham gambe e senggako skat bo yan Jobel yani muksongani ungya chingba Jobel yan Hebrew kata macam aru ya kata ko nyagen chumani wan khasukani ba jokatani khachani ningtakani ko nani yan ungacham aru pultaini ba emancipation restoration yani muksongani yan ungacham ya bakrang ko siani ko ansingyano naganakta magyan in Leviticus 25 we can see how this Israelites supposed to observe Sabbath and then Jubilee after reaching to the promised land, Canaan. That's what God has given them the decree or the law to follow, so that on that year supposed to be belong to the Lord. Wa balsira isona unga nemna aganiatem. Ari ya balsira yan Jobel ka srokani unga jokatani unga. Songwang na ningtakani ko unbo. Kiaga manirang na ningtakani ko unbo. Yakonyat gen semua da sekarang ni aba gamit sa anyo ba anjing ba bebe nang ade songo da bak bok jem na ma sisa ni ba anjing ba bring do na nga ba dan songo ba ganang wan bai da ba sidok sinirang na anjing ba yaho takpa ni ba anjing de biblically de beben jar jeng na ba ganang ni ba sini uyan yo ba yap san giskon na sina ba isolo na ni nak taman gen wa sini ja mande gapen biapo na anjing ba jiten ba abacha nirang ho takanga ya kon apsan kon yanoba jana pingacem neba sneak ba belsia gen semua haude war ison nasa unchina ning takani ko unchina war ning takani sa ar sa kantina ning takani ko aro jokatani ko nani somoy sa ba belsi sa ungani nino agani acem ya ko jar chinakta yan levi rangna sianyude ungyacem aro ya apsan kon anchingara ya jekon Levi rangna ya oda kurpunga si achim ya apsan kon Isaya ba agani achim ar ya kon Jesu Kristo ra look olai bri pochet archisko porayani ko anseng negang skanakta magyan. That's what had happened or had given to Moses. Those people are supposed to follow, and then the same thing Isaiah has repeated, and then again. Not exactly repeated, had prophesied, and then Luke has already repeated the same thing what Isaiah has written in verse 1 to supposed to be actually up to 3 we can read. So ya belsiko niat kan semua de yan jokatan ko rabani ningtakan ko rabani yahon ongyacem akan kan semua dewan jangi tangani o dengtang obos tarangci kai dona ko mangga barang plakkan ningtakani grow watako grow dong parang ba wa sumay ni bako grow watako manani ba kemaka ako manani aro jokatani aro Jobel ni bulsio yang plakon dak chinagata geta dak chongbadan sakantinan ni takani ko chinagata aro yano niatken simangode yano gisnik ta senjata ni ko man kebarang na ba gisnik ta namen dukwan ni ko kebarang na ba ni takani ko ba nal jokatan ko sokani ko na mani belsi nem na yanora jana pingacham arinyat ken semua ngode pakto ko don kebarang ko ba ya belsiora watani ngacham arinaken ba no ko leta ko man kebarang ba ya belsiora watako matnagta nangacem ba jokatan ko free onge wamang na ba jokani ko onani belsi nemne yano agani acem yasa gateli chakani belsi ariyan the year of the Lord's favor. That's what in Luke 4:18 to 19 is talking about. Look in his writings now, trying to connect these particular verses again to the redemptive work of Jesus. Our Isaiah ba yan apsan kon prophesy kaha. Arani ke look oday bri pot chat ar chisku ko nyat ken semode. Jesus Christo ang tangko yano parabeni ko nagkadaktaman gen. Jesus Christ himself is now revealing who he is. What Isaiah has written about him. Yako ang nagkadaktaman sa gen. The same thing that what he is trying to reveal Luke has already written in 18 and 19. Kristo ang tangko yano parabeni ko ang sungken. Maiko yano Isaiah siya hatem. Wa ang tangan ang tangko agani hatem. Anga Kristo. Gaten ligisag ang mugnang. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Gising ni kata belgring parang na namakata ko gantrak china. Kata ang awat ko manaha. Pato ko doon ako man kaparang na akan praktsina kata ang awat ko manaha. Bakhay doon ako man kaparang na akan praktsina kata nga watat ko manaha. Magkrirang ko nagkat na. Unya ka ako man kaparang ko jukat na ang watat ko manaha. Gadeni ratsakani bulsiko akan praktsina watat ko manaha. The same thing we can read in English also. Yan Kristoan Jobel ba kasukani ungatsam. Kristoan ningtakani ungatsam. Ya salan Jublian yan ningtakani sal ungatsam. Ari yan daalan jokatani salba ungatsam. Ya ko sa Lukara yano siyaniko nagnagda mangen. Aru Isaiah ba yako sa agan suaniko anseng nagnagda mangen. Kristoan na makata. Aru yan na makatan sa kansinan jukatan ko raba. Yan na makata chin. Kristoan tangan na makata. Aru Kristoan sa kansina ning takaniko o namani ungatsam. Aru jekon anseng jubilee nemna mani ba ingatsam. Anseng tao Tsasa sopwa kapa belsiona ya cek baptis rangni tongbi mongani abachingani ko changen chmwangode yan wangya cham dan jubli ko ba ni atgen chmwangode yan singgang ha wan sopis kungen ba sopbunga kapa de wan jubli ko mani chinagda ning takani ko isona naaning takchina ni sakana takani muksuan di dewa main iya belsiara isol na kangani unga consecrate this day to the Lord ni sakana rong tal na isol na bo rong tal la bo nimna sa akania mani iyara isol ni unga jiran ji isolan sakanti duk maning parang na hago maning parang na ning kaniyang ko maning parang na senjata niyang ko maning parang na ning takani ko utnam ka pa isol ungatsam ya ko sa jubilee ba Kristoan jubilee unga nimnan singyano nagang skanakta mangen daw history ko niya gen semua ngo de anseng beben yano ba atan Christian uguman rang wani guman nga evangelistic message tikeda nga unakta senga hindi ba Christian ungim na. In the name of Jubilee, what steps are we going to take up? Sa anti-Christian ngem na ya Jubilee ni bimango ang singra may nakabag hamrang ko kang skanakta ng yencem. Ya ko sa nga dee misukat nakta skinga. Ang pangita sumerang ko nga rata bangyen benga beben. Dan yat kan semua ngode 차치자 초스디 봉아 오나 츠나야 동비 몽아니고 상빠고 와다니고 안증 늑나다 마나 맨 하자그니 벌시오 안증 차사코 봉아 고바 벌시코 안증 마냥하 마냐 비아 봉아 고네 나메 미납다 만자야 와우니니 장겐 중앙만에 메벤 안증 지로 코데 안증 벌시 금액 되게 차납다 나가 메벤 와콘 얏겐 중앙고데 야 벌시오니데 안증아라 많이 착았다니 벌시 공항에 참 Tao sanongza, di ba? Go on worshiping, go on observing this year as a Jubilee year. yasa unakta nanginga. Yanon matuden knalla tamo matumani matutadi jubilee matutaha nige ungja. They will keep on worshiping the Lord as the year of the Lord, as the Jubilee. Yahusa muksungaya jem. The church is sotni bunga belsionin anjeng yangin chungangune. Wamang maina yako abachinata. Maina ABDK ko ba soba dalgapa nemna jeng mengen ba belsian di wa somerangoni abachingatinga jem. Yako anjeng nekanak tamangen. Kang ba wamang ni manyani salo E.G. Phillips ni report ko ni gen semua what he has written. E.G. Phillips in his report about this gathering way back in 1875, he has given the report somewhere after that gathering. So he has written, the churches through their delegates pledged themselves to support an evangelist from the following years. Apa cingan yon naktaman get wamang pledge ko taka. Jensalo anjani yakrama ba unode mondolirang san wayagi chet tomacem uno wamang ni tomateng somwede wamang memberang tongade sakrchabri chisni san tongaya diba beben sam Badiaba memberang de beben apal gala homana when they gemena rchak tam kola chibri san uwa somerang de ungkoinga memberang gamak arwa sak gamak kan wa someyo kumak chetani ko daka E.G. Phillips ni angana nikta de wamang sakan tian mera kana wamang ni delegate rong ko watatian ba tao tari ba pa delegate rang ta wamang bari ba ar sakan tian kumak chetani ko daka gemek mondolirangan gemek kremarangan pocar ko watatgen ba pocarok na sponsor kagen wa ko anjeng nakta mangen wa mangni re chakatani ko yano muksongya wa mang ya saloni ri mangmanga ya sanungja di ba muksonga ganang wa mani ri chakatani ganang jam ya isoni songno ko kanyo ABD ko aba chingatanyo wa mani sobadal gaba ne mna belsian ti to memoanyo wa mang pangnan kumukchetani ko takachem 우리가 마칭하니 wa mani kumukchetani ba wa mang prochar ko watnagta ba takchaknagta kumukchetganian ungachem wano beben when they gathered way back in 1875 E.G. Phillips has given the report that each and every churches have taken the decision to sponsor at least one evangelist to the neighboring villages and also beyond Garo Hills. And then that also, of course, became successful. Wasomoyo chaken ko beben wamang missionary na ba evangelist taknagata beben siyokaha. Chakan was selected right on the spot to be an evangelist by those churches. He will be among those people. Of course, Chakan and Bago had been employed by Mason since 1872, because since 1872 they had awakening at Adokri in Assam area now, in present Assam area. They were having awakening or sign of kind of a revival movement. Wasomoyo beben Chakan ko wamang siyokaha wa tongbimuanyo. Beben diba Chakan aro Bago wamang sakani de wa tongbimuani ongnas kangan chachiche sosni gni bulsion Mason ni MC Mason ni traveling evangelist chinagta bari Ruiz Kigba prochar chinagta siyokako manen ba kamko kasuing hajam aro nige adokri aro wa jolrango wamang kamko kaingacham nige adokriyo namen yisni kata watani na kamko wamang riroi kamko kainga. Since that time, since 1872 till 1878, we can see that members from that Assam area had been growing more and more. And in 1878, their members were just in Adokre area around 300. So the spirit was moving, spirit was working. So that kind of works that they had been doing since that time when they had started this meeting. wa belse wam na ba chingan yon wa mang ni kham kha ani blak ani rang ko chung nak ta mana wa mang don thong ai ja sioke chanchi wa non bo nai han ke unja ni mang ba kham kha ani rang ko chung nak ta mana aron ke 1878 to ba wa mang dokre area kham kha ani ja mana de wan chol ja area na ribas kha ya chum wa mani kham kha ani rang ko ni aten chum ode non research ni chat bulsiang wa chol ja ba one people's movement. I don't know the terms was exactly had been using since that time by those people, but it is maybe the writer. I got this from, of course, AK Ayer's book, The Growth of the Churches. He was using the term people's movement, but that is the terms which mostly the writers used. Hadwa so moy muting rango manderang ni namen gisni gata thangduat tan ko matna kham kha anirang wa so merango namen blockinga nimna nak taman gen arone ke chol ja area na ba wa mar namen kham ko khaya cham arone ke they say that there were 150 villagers were waiting for Mason to get baptized. You know sakrat sa sot wa ni so moy ni ko nyat gen smo de namen talbe ga pa thongani ba manderang ni kaoksian ko yano nagtam again sak sa sot bunga song ni manderang napola taho managta mason na singswing acham. You know, I don't know the power why they have to wait for Mason. Where is Omed or Ramke? I'm not known about all those things. But what has written is written that they were waiting for Mason to get baptized in that Chocholza area during that time. Di ba niyat ken semua ngade wa sengara wa mani kham kha ni blak ani rang ko nak ta mana ansni mundoli rang ni kham kha ni blak ani rang ko wa so merang wa seng nak ta mana arwe ben ya kham kha ni rang san ungja mangsa na men wa so moyo chawatan ko mana ni de ayon man pa kham wa mani kham kha ani ra wa mani na ni rang wa na men blak ani ko nak ta mana. One of the challenging works what those churches were doing is about their giving. The spirit of giving was very strong among those churches. So giving tithes is from the heart that comes among those churches, and it is still going on about the tithes, giving of the tithes. And that's how the growth of the churches was more stronger during those periods, that they could even sponsor the missionaries, or so to say, they call it missionaries, but mostly it was evangelists. Again, yakin semua mode, chat sosku bunga rang mode, ansni mondoli rang ara, dengtang biap rang ona, ba sengda on yakin semua ne state rang ona, skip rak barang ko, watat nakta man plus kaya cem. Chat sosku bunga belsionin wamang missionary rang ko watatan ko wamang nakpaya cham anjeng yatang taman ken ya ko wamang anjeng wamang ni somoy ne beben wamang de foreign mission de mana wakon agana mana wamang ni world view ba gasak ni gumun uyan ni na men chodek sa san wag taw Garo Hills san wamang ni agasak san wag taw mayan cham when man outside of Garo Hills agasak Garo Hills ni apalchi ang hode wan wamana sunggatal da wa when man terms ba wamang na zakalani wamang ni somoyra foreign mission nem ni ukon mangpacham dan yarang ko wamang na men blacken kambaka yarang na aro blacken wamang giset kumak chugumakchi deng cheken wamang yana kamko ka wanake awrang na manipurang na kacharang na bororang na wamang dengtang missionary rang ko watate kamko kaniko nagnakta mangen yan nakpakamrang ko anjengni mondoli rang ara beben kayacham Harding ni report on against Mwangode. Harding ba ne aganiacham. Harding has given the report that there were 3,282 baptism within the span of 5 years. 1920-24 warang ni gisepo. Hajagatam rchagni sochet sku manderang baptize kahatam. Belsi bongani gisepo. Nemna Harding ni report ni ko naktam again. Aruni siani kata he still said that they visited 965 Garo villages and they held 1,090 evangelical meetings. 1,090 evangelical meetings. I was thinking, how is it possible? 1,090 evangelical meetings. Is it really true? Of course, yet to discover more. What has written about him was, it is in the report that has given by Harding. He was saying that they had visited 965 Garo villages just within a span of 5 years. And looking at the communications and transportations of those periods, whether it is really true. And if it is really true, it's really a wonderful work of those people. Our Hajal sa Sotsku evangelical meeting rangko wamang ungatha nemna singatum. Bewen mission reports. Uniman report ko sa nagkaiha, di ba? Wanita niat kan semua de ayom nan pagba kamrang ko kaha nemna nagnapta manggen. Aru yano jak dong barang de American missionary ang san ongja. Di ba an ni manderangan uno wamang ni nengo kam kaya jap. An ni manderangan wamang ni nengo ski prakani kamrang ko kagabarang de an ni manderangan ong batachap. It is the work of not only the American missionaries during that time. It is we, the Garos, who are working sincerely and heart and soul for spreading the word of God under those missionaries, American missionaries. Yan nage kam ka ani ko tsung naganak da manggen. Aron naken ba ya kam wamani kam ka ani namen thang do barar kani gamanan ba wamang arwamani project rang ko thang do patata nam batata da wamang Garo Hills evangelistic committee wa ko ba wamang research su kor bunga o form ka ha abachinga ta ha je akari Garo Hills ka magchina namakata ko ski prakata manggen wani ke wamang committee ko ba donen ba research su kor bunga bisirang ba kambuka nakta juton ka ha Nibansni mondolilang ni kam ko ri ani ko niatkin semua de beben kasna ni ko wani zamanu de nagnagtamana. After 1930, there was a sudden drop of the churches, the growth of the churches. That is mainly because of, again, the leadership crisis. And those people who were working sincerely along with those missionaries, some of them already died, like Reverend Tangkan. And then others and some of the churches again had to close down because of no leaders among them. Wan nakba ubos lang ko beben wamong ba chagronga. Hindi ba chakat taytaya. Hindi ba chakat taytaya. Mani isol wat kalza. And again, the church school so bunga. Ode ya. Soba dalgaba angaba ko. Church Baptist dalgaba krama ni mangna baching skaha. Ari ya bimung ko donen ba dalo na kengkeng anjeng thok bimwani ko takinga. Before they had been using the name soba dalgaba, that means great gathering. It's just simply the great gathering. And every year they don't have the office as such, maybe, but every year they had been gathering just in that big gathering, Osoba Dalgapa. But only in 1955, they handed over everything to the local authority. So since that time, the name has been changed to Church Baptist Dalgapa Krama. So it had been going on since that time until now that we are celebrating today. And this year, not only now, but this year as the Jubilee year. Yan again, aro ungang hunagta nanggen. Yanon matsoteha nagi ungja. Aro wasong moyo Church school support o sumoyo chagani village schools ebidikeni ajao ebidikeni ngo kanangchum nemna agana aro 6 middle schools and 1 high school ebidikeni ngo do nanggaman school rang nirokna nanganirang kanangchum nemna agana beben wano ni ko nyat kan semua ngone Padit dana kengkeng dalo anjeng dalaha. Padit dana kengkeng dalo anjeng cadeng na kata manaha. Ca cisku semua bunga onida anjeng tang tang cadeng na kata nangaha. Since that time we have to stand on our own feet, in our own feet, and carry on the work. Schools were growing. 200 villages were there in the hands of ABTK. Village schools and 6 middle schools and 1 high school, which ABTK is supposed to look after during those days. Big responsibility, but a few servants of the Lord. But the Lord never forsake us. The Lord never leave us. Ya salko nagda ansna onha. And as a great things the Lord has done. Ya ko ansung donen ba ta alo gisrat pikai ni ko ansung nakiatsum. Ya ko gisrat yung ansung beben isol ko matelak tade nanga. Ansung isol ko ba matela. Aro history ko niyang ko de ansung beben manggen di ba ngay no don tong nagda sky ha. Chachi susot bobongaw na sa nga don tong nagda sky ha. May yano ni de ansung sa kantian haida poray muna ansung binagta magkugen. Aro pagpatan haida senior members matamrang de yani kam yarang oni de kam may nagyong iyatsum warang ansung nagbanagta manha. Dalo na kung may nagyong iyatsum ansung tang ni mundoli lang ko ansung nagnagta manha.